Going back to the daily file items 104 through 109, which are all items remaining, will be passed and retained. We'll now proceed to the consent calendar. Does any member wish to remove an item from the consent calendar? Seeing and hearing none, the clerk will read the second-day consent calendar.
Assembly Bill 1355 by Assemblymember Gray and Act relating to gaming.
The clerk will open the roll on the consent calendar. All those vote who desire to vote. 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 The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Aye 69, no 0. The consent calendar is adopted. At this time, we'll now move to announcements and adjournments in memory. The following members were granted prior permission to speak on and adjourn in memory. Colleagues, if I could please ask you to take your seats for these adjournments. I'm first going to recognize Assemblymember Lopez for your in memoriam.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I rise to adjourn in memory of my mother, Maria de Jesus Palomares. This lady came to this country over 40 years ago, and she had a dream. She had a dream that her family has a better life and better quality for all the rest of the family. And the last one for 8 members of my family. And she taught me so many things, and I can go on and on. But today I just want to share a few things that she taught me. One of the things is to have family values, respect, work hard, and care for others. And one of the quotes that I'm going to share with you that always she reminds me. She told me always, Mija, remember this. It's not what you receive, it's what you give to other people. And thanks to her, I'm here serving the public because I have so much passion for my constituents and for the family, especially for the immigrant community. I'm the one representing the 1%, and I'm so honored to have her like a mother. En memoria de mi madre, María de Jesús Palomares, le agradezco a mi madre que me enseñó que nada es fácil y que tiene uno que ganarse el pan de cada día. Ella vino hace 40 años a este país teniendo un sueño de tener una vida mejor para ella y su familia. Siempre me enseñó los valores familiares, respetar a las personas y trabajar duro. Siempre me decía un mensaje que me quedó por el resto de mi vida. Nosotros no somos lo que recibimos, nosotros somos los que damos a los demás. Mi madre fue una mujer íntegra, con grandes valores, muy trabajadora, y gracias a ella soy lo que soy aquí. Me inspiró para servir a mi comunidad, porque aunque mi viejita no hablaba inglés, mi viejita no tenía barreras de idioma para ser amigos o para trabajar duro. Tenía 2 o 3 trabajos para pagar renta y las cosas para traer comida a la casa. Siempre estarás en nuestros corazones, Madre mía. Con esto quiero concluir en el día de hoy. I just ask to adjourn in loving memory of my mother, Maria Jesus Palomares. Always miss you, Mom.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to recognize Mr. Cooley.
Colleagues, it is my honor to stand on behalf of the body and join in this request for adjourning in memory for our colleague from the 39th Assembly District in the San Fernando Valley, her mom. Maria de Jesus Palomares Rivera, Assemblymember Lopez's mother. Maria de Jesus Palomares Rivera was a remarkable woman who lived until the age of 86. I know Maria was very happy and inspired by the accomplishments of her Patty. This was touchingly plain simply by watching her face, as I took the opportunity to do as she sat here amongst us on this floor. Our colleague from the 39th Assembly District was not an only child, however. In addition to Patty, her mom Maria had 7 other children, 36 grandchildren, 45 great-grandchildren, and 6 great-great-grandchildren. Throughout her long life, Maria was a woman full of happiness, love, and generosity. When Maria de Jesus Palomares Rivera came to this country in the 1980s, she brought her culture's values: respect and love for your family, friendship, caring, and most importantly, loyalty. Maria had a friend she met when she first moved to California, and she and her friend could not communicate at first, but they persevered, and during 40 years of friendship, Maria taught her friend a little Spanish, and her friend taught her a little English. Maria always was moved to communicate and undertook to learn sign language, the better to speak across that great divide. She found joy in caring for children, sewing and spending time with her many friends. Maria never hesitated and was always generous to give her friends a plate of food from within her kitchen and from within the bounty of her long life, wise advice. Remembered by her daughter and family as a happy person, Maria delighted in listening to mariachi music and thoroughly enjoyed the food typical to her culture. Graced in life with the beautiful name Maria de Jesus Palomares Rivera, for our colleague, we know that Maria was treasured for that even more precious of all names, Mom. I join with my colleagues and ask that we adjourn today in memory of her mother, Maria de Jesus Palomares Rivera.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley. We'll now proceed to the next adjourn in memory by Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I'm adjourning in memory of my constituent and longtime AP Capitol reporter, Doug Willis. At the age of 77, Mr. Willis passed away on December 15th due to complications following hip surgery. Doug was a familiar face at the Capitol and spent 3 decades covering California politics for the Associated Press and was known as an amazing man, funny, balanced, sane, profoundly accurate, detail-savvy, and unflappable. In 1974, he was picked to run the Associated Press Sacramento Bureau, where over his long political career, he won several awards for his excellent journalism. As an only child, Willis was born in Oakland in 1938 and was raised by his mother, grandmother, and father. Died during World War II, shot down the Pacific while serving in the Army Air Corps. Mr. Willis is survived by his wife of 22 years and his 2 daughters, Kathy and Rebecca, and his sons Kevin, Bill, and Gunther. My heartfelt prayers go out to Mr. Willis's family and friends. He will be deeply missed, and his stories will be never forgotten. Thank you for this opportunity to adjourn in his memory.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Dodd for the next adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I ask you today to join me in remembering and celebrating the life of Sylvia Heffley. Through the 66 years that she lived, Sylvia always shared her sense of fair play, compassion, and love of children with the Napa community. Sylvia was a teacher at St. Apollinaire School for 30 years, where she instilled confidence in countless children, including my own, by directing the children's choir and other after-school programs. The mark she left on the Napa community is real. The void she left looms large, and she lived and professed her values until the very end. Sylvia is survived by her husband of 45 years, Bob, her son Justin, daughter Megan, her grandchildren Sophia, Luis, and Justin Ryan, her mother Fidela, and her siblings Joyce Garib, Daria Henry, Estelle Lemieux, and Dan Lemieux and John Lemieux and their spouses, along with numerous nieces and nephews and cousins. Our thoughts are with Sylvia and her loved ones. We ask for adjourn in her memory. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Gomez.
Mr. Speaker and members, today I rise to honor the life and legacy and memory of my good friend Suzanne Lynn Decker-Klein, or Sue as she was known by a lot of people actually in this room. For the past decade, Sue Klein was the heart of the Los Angeles County Deputy Probation Officers Union, ASME Local 685 AFL-CIO. She served most recently as the Chief Steward and Second Vice President of the Local 685 after serving in numerous posts on the Executive Board. A good description of Sue would be ringleader or taskmaster. She trained and mentored a generation of her probation sisters and brothers by her example of activism and dedication to the clients she served and the members she represented. Her entire life revolved around helping, guiding, and teaching people. She was not only a leader in her own local, she was active in a number of countywide labor organizations, including the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor. She also served as the state of California as a member of the Commission of Juvenile Justice. Sue was most proud of her role as mother to daughter Ashley and son Matthew, and grandmother to Caitlin and Cora. She's also survived by her mother Jean, two brothers Dennis and Henry. Sue was a guiding force in labor politics in Southern California, especially in LA, and she was very warm and opening to a lot of the LA County assembly members. And she would invite us to all their events, and she was very tough. But she had a knack of getting the room quiet when we were having a presentation or a ceremony of awards. She would basically tell everybody to shut up, right? And this was right during a formal program. And she might have been a little rough around the edges, but she had the most gentle and softest soul that you can imagine. So she will be missed not only as a great labor leader, but just as a good person in general. So I ask the Assembly to adjourn in Sue's memory. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Our final adjournment will be by Mr. Nazarian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I rise today to adjourn in memory of a dear friend, Varic Pilavjian, who lost an unexpected battle with cancer at the age of 59 on December 28th. Ironically, we had just celebrated his birthday in November, 6 short weeks prior to his unexpected death, ribbing him for him not having grown old enough for us to celebrate his birthday in a bigger fashion. So we were just having a small dinner. So we were going to wait and celebrate on his 60th. Varic was a very well-known and well-respected businessman and community leader in the greater Los Angeles area and an influential member of the Armenian community. His family immigrated, similar to mine, about 15 years prior to my family, from war-torn Lebanon in the early 1970s. Established themselves in Los Angeles, eventually made some investments, and became the owners of the St. Vincent Jewelry Building in downtown Los Angeles, which contributed to the flourishing of the Los Angeles Jewelry District. His involvement in the community was evident in the various leadership positions he held, serving as school board member or treasurer, national delegate on behalf of his parish, Western Prelacy of the Armenian Apostolic Church, a member of the Prelacy's Executive Council, and of course, playing a founding role in the Arts District of the Los Angeles Business Improvement District. He lives behind his wife, Sosi, 2 sons, Haig and Harag, extended family members, and a very wide group of community members who came in touch with him. Some of us here probably knew him as well, and knew the only thing you can take away from him is his hearty smile and desire to sit and discuss and be able to walk you through whatever challenges you might have. He was a very gentle soul and one that will be missed and needs to be emulated. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, please bring the names to the desk to be printed in the journal. All requests to adjourn in memory will be deemed read and printed in the journal. Moving to announcements, we have one birthday to celebrate today. I know this has been a bittersweet time for our colleague, but please join in wishing Assemblymember Patty Lopez a very happy birthday. And with that, members, the following committees will meet upon the adjournment of session. Assembly Judiciary will be meeting in room 4202. Assembly Rules will be meeting in the Rules Committee room. The scheduled session is as follows. On Monday, January the 18th, it is a holiday, Martin Luther King Day. On Tuesday, January the 19th, we have floor session at noon. All other items remaining will be passed and retained. All motions continued. Seeing and hearing no further business, I'm ready to entertain a motion to adjourn. Ms. Garcia moves and Mr. Mays seconds that this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, January the 19th at noon. At this time, quorum call is lifted.